I have a few thoughts about the fights tonight. One is I think that Edwin Rosario has emerged now as the star of the best division in boxing, the lightweight division. I guess we don't have a real tournament going here to unify all the titles, but what I'd like to see is just all of these guys keep fighting each other. Jimmy Paul against Rosario, and Rosario against Camacho, and the youngsters, Vinny Pazienza and Meldrick Taylor and Whitaker and Cesar Chavez, all very good fighters or prospects. They should just keep on fighting each other endlessly, giving us all our money's worth, entertaining us, making money for themselves. It would be prize fighting heaven for fight fans. Now back to Barry and Ray.
Okay, thanks very much, Larry Merchant. Let's go back to the events of this evening now. It's been a long night. Edwin Rosario, of course, he scored a dramatic knockout victory over Livingstone Bramble. Let's go back and show you that once more. Ray, I really didn't think this fight was going to go. I thought perhaps Rosario might win the fight. I had no idea that it would end this quickly and this impressively.
Well, I didn't know who was going to really win the fight. I knew both guys had the power and talent to defeat each other. But here we see Rosario completely dominating the second round. He hurt Bramble with pretty clean right hands. There's another right hand that sent Bramble to the canvas. It was a quite impressive performance by Edwin Rosario.
Livingstone Bramble said that he had a thumb in the eye, and that's what caused him to stay down. But you had the feeling maybe he did, maybe he didn't, I don't know. But there were enough punches there that obviously did some damage.
Well, Rosario, he threw a lot of, you have to watch his short uppercuts, right hands, left hooks. Beautiful execution of punches thrown by Rosario. I tell you, Rosario's ready for everybody now.
That was pretty good. Did you ever think about fighting?
Oh, yeah, I thought about it.
Let me ask you another thing, too. One final question about Hector Macho Camacho. Now, he moves out of this division. And the same thing with you, where you were a guy that not only was a champion, but you were a champion who could sell tickets. I don't see anybody else in the lightweight division who's capable of doing that. And I have to think people like Rosario and Paul now might perhaps miss out on some paydays if Camacho, big paydays that is, if Camacho does move up.
Well, I think one thing for sure, because Jimmy Paul, who's standing nearby, he wants to fight Camacho. Rosario wants a rematch. It's not too far up to the junior welterweight division. They may follow him there.
Hector Camacho, of course, told us that the near loss he had to Edwin Rosario was a movie that he just had to see. And now I guess the job for him, if in fact he does move up, is to see what Reel 2, the sequel, has to offer in the Hector Camacho story. Well, stay tuned immediately following our World Championship Boxing telecast for Silverado in the East and training camp.
And Evander Holyfield has retained his IBF Cruiserweight Championship and his WBA Junior Heavyweight Championship, and in the process taken away the WBC Cruiserweight title from Carlos DeLeon. So he has unified the crown. Ironically, he's done it in a fight that will probably be his last at the 190-pound level. So Holyfield remains unbeaten. He was in control and dominating the fight, well ahead on the scorecards of all three judges when the end came in the 8th round of this scheduled 12-rounder in Las Vegas. And we'll go back and pick up the action as I called it from ringside.
Evander Holyfield wearing the white trunks and Carlos DeLeon in the red trunks. Bout scheduled for 12 rounds. It has been controlled, and the pace has pretty much been dictated by Holyfield, who has landed most of the blows of consequence, but he has not been the dominant Holyfield that we've seen so often in the past. Good right hand got in that time from Holyfield. Evander, as has been the case throughout this fight, starts out quickly and then appears to wear down in the middle part of the round. And he's had, for almost the entire fight, DeLeon backed up against the ropes. And now DeLeon has begun to bleed from the corner of his left eye. A cut has opened up, and a good left hand really staggers him. Blood flowing now from the left eye of DeLeon. Holyfield trying to finish him off. Holyfield letting the hands go. Ripping combinations. Another good right hand. Mills Lane now steps in, and Mills Lane is going to stop this fight. Evander Holyfield, out of nowhere, after a very workmanlike 7 rounds, comes out, lands a very good early combination, opens a cut outside the left eye of Carlos DeLeon, and is able to follow it up. Here's a look at Holyfield's initial flurry as Holyfield lands a solid left and then a wicked right hand getting through the gloves of DeLeon. and then the upcoming right hand will open up the cut outside the left eye right there of DeLeon, and that was the beginning of the end. And another look now as DeLeon was backed up against the ropes. A right hand got in after that cut had already been opened up, and then Holyfield able to finish him off.
All right, Evander, we've just taken a look at the replays. Assess for me your performance in this fight.
Well, you know, Carlos DeLeon was a clever boxer, and I really was trying to take it to his body a lot more than I did, but he's defending with his head. It was a very clever fight. I think in my performance, if I did pretty good. And stuff. It was really hard for me to justify because I had to pretty much keep the guy off of me.
You came in slightly over the limit at 190.25 pounds. Did that matter at all to you?
No. I wouldn't use that as an excuse because I had a good meal. I really didn't dry out that well. So, and losing that quarter pound wasn't no problem. It just took like 2 minutes to get it off.
What about bulking up now? And what about your next fight? Will it be as a heavyweight?
Well, that would be left up to my manager and my trainers. And I guess it all depends on how long it takes me to get my weight up and the opponent and get myself prepared for that heavyweight fight.
Lou Duva, might it be a fight against James Quick Tillis in June?
Yes, he's one of the fellas we're looking at. We're looking at Quick Tillis. We're looking at Pinklin Thomas. We're looking at that type of a fighter. We're looking at the next champ, and then a good guy, a guy that's really been around, a veteran type, and either one of those two guys would fit into the plans.
And then obviously you're looking down the road at maybe Mike Tyson. When?
Well, actually, I really don't know. I'm taking one opponent at a time, and Mike Tyson definitely is in the future. You know, I don't rule him out. My main thing is just to be ready for my next opponent.
Do you anticipate any problems in getting up to the level you'll have to be at to take on and beat a Mike Tyson?
Well, I don't think it would be any problem. I think right now his main thing is getting the weight put on properly. I feel that for us, it's twos and the skill and the mind and the heart to face a guy like Mike Tyson I have.
Evander, congratulations. Evander Holyfield over DeLeon on an 8th round TKO. And now back to Frank.
We'll have the conclusion of the Baja 1000 for you shortly, but right now